pjnet.tv, 9 p.m. East Coast time. And it looks like the restreaming servers are in sync. It looks like our chat room's waiting. Looks like our bumper's running. We're recording. Everything looks good. Got Stephanie standing by in the green room. Let's start a countdown to Studio 8. Well, good evening and welcome to pjnet.tv. That's what it said right there. It says it over there too. You get the idea? Folks, remember this studio? We're going kind of back into the past and dusting off some old stuff to go back in time and to take us back in time every month, and it would be on the first Wednesday of the month. I just checked my calendar. Stephanie Pavlantos joins us, and she has a lot she wants to share, so I won't particularly tee it up other than say that she is one of the star players on the vinewords.net team. She has just released a book, The Jewel of Hebrews, or Jewels of Hebrew. I always want to make that single. And
Many
you're working,
jewels.
And you're working on something else. So what is dominating your life right now? What is the tyranny of the urgent today that you're working on?
I am working on my blog series that is about the Beatitudes. So that's taking up a lot of time because I do so much research ahead of time. And then before I even start writing, I'm putting hours and hours of research in because I really like to do research. That's just who I am, and that's what I do. And then by the time I put all the research together, and I have up 50 tabs at the top of my computer, then I start trying to think, okay, so how do I put all this into words and make it all sound right? And my husband is my proofreader. So when I get it all to where I think it's good, then he comes in and sits down and tells me if it makes any sense. And so that's the first part.
Well, how smart is he? I mean, he married you. Oh, okay. All right.
He's so smart.
Yeah. One time my wife made some reference to me being less than intelligent, and I said, look who I married.
No, he's he's really good at doing that for me and helping me with things like that, because the way my mind works, we are so opposite, let me tell you. And so what sounds perfectly normal to me, he might say, that makes no sense to me. And so then I try to make it, because I want everyone to understand it. And so I make sure I take his critiques and, make the changes that need to be changed. And so that, not just, you don't have to be me to understand it. So.
Well, I have so many questions for God. They're accumulating, okay? But none of them are eschatological. Okay.
Okay.
The boll weevil. I want to know why, Lord, of all the things.
Oh, yeah.
But I majored in sociology and psychology. Did a double major. Worthless education. But anyway, there are things that these people notice. Men and women dress differently. One will dress top down. The other will dress bottom up. Nobody knows why.
How funny.
Well, and there's words that when said verbally, we announce as niner. Because if you say 9, the person on the other end will write down 5 in many cases. And no one knows why. But anyway, I also have a new one I'm going to ask God. Why is it when I share a screen with a female, they'll have 50 tabs open? I'm like, how do you possibly, how can I even help you? I'm in an avalanche of tabs. I'm in browser hell here.
No, I don't do that on a normal basis. And actually, it's kind of funny because even when I pick up my phone, and I don't like there to be too many tabs open on my phone in Windows,
Sure.
So but if I look at my sister's phone, I'm like, why do you have so many things open? And she's like, leave my phone alone. Go take care of your own. And so, but she's just got all this stuff across the top of her phone. And I'm like, close that.
Well, and then you'll see, why do you have 4 Facebook tabs open?
Right. Yeah.
Really? I mean, anyway, question from the chat room, and this is not eschatological either.
Okay, that's good.
Please tell us about duck butts.
Oh no, JD.
How'd you know?
He
is
calls me
one.
Mama D. Yes, I have ducks, and I love my ducks, and I like to put pictures of them upside down in the pond, swimming. So we got a thing going.
Actually.
Feeding, swimming. Yeah. No, I meant eating. That's what I meant. But yes, and so and they're just so darn cute when they're doing that, and they're flapping their legs, and so to me it's very cute, and so I will put pictures of those of the ducks butts up in the air.
Mm-hmm. Well, I used to be a duck hunter. I don't duck hunt anymore. I'm fascinated by the creatures. I think that they fly better than anything humans have ever built, and we've built some wicked aircraft, but I marvel at God as an engineer.
Yes.
But when you shoot a duck, sometimes they'll land on the water upside down. So now you've got to identify, for purpose of lawful compliance with bag limits, you've got to identify, is that a male, a female, and what breed, what species.
Right.
Well, mallards have orange feet.
Right.
Okay. And most of the ducks in this area are either mallard, wood duck, or what we call a ringneck. But if it's orange feet, yep, that's a mallard. The problem is a male is worth 20 points. A female is worth 90. So it's like, you need to see their coloring, on their bodies.
Yeah.
And their undersides are always white, so when an alligator looks up, it doesn't,
Right.
You do really have a lot on your platter. You've been doing this online Bible study now for how long?
Well, it'll be 4 weeks this Sunday, so we're starting chapter 4, and it's going really well. So, and I did my first Facebook Live today, which was an experience because it went fine, but I'm always nervous to do that kind of thing. And you'd think I'd learn from this.
Come get on this side of the mic.
I know. It's like after doing PJ Net, I shouldn't be nervous to do a Facebook Live, but I still am. Yeah. And then my makeup's like all smeared up here, and I'm like, oh shoot, I should have checked that. And so anyway, but so besides that, I start a new class on Monday. It's still with my Bible study, but it's with Besor Institute, which I kind of work for. And so actually it's kind of cool because I'm going to teach some students in that. And that goes for some like extra elective credit for them. So Besor is a Judeo-Christian institute, and we basically teach the Bible from the Hebraic outlook of it. So that's where I'm
doing a blog, and you just wrote a book.
And I'm doing my blog, and I just wrote a book. Yes.
Just wrote a book.
Yes.
The book's been out for some time, though, hasn't it? A few months?
December 1st.
Yeah.
So, it's 2 months now.
So you're kind of over the book launch
adrenaline. I am, but I just put out a little contest about it because I was trying to get people to, I'm giving a $30 gift card if people will take a selfie with their book or a picture. And so I thought, well, that's a great way. And it's only, really, to get people to kind of advertise their book for me. So in a way, so it's coming up with creative ways of trying to get my book out there. But, and then I've gone to a few churches it's going fine, and I'm keeping busy and I'm enjoying it.
What is the life cycle? Obviously, there's, the deadline pressure, getting it published, but then it finally comes out. But now a new set of pressures take over, launching the book.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, when do you relax? What's the life cycle of that book launch? When do you kind of think, well, I've done that now, and I can move on and kind of not focus on it?
I don't know. I haven't reached that point yet. Okay. I'm always thinking about, I think there's a fine line. You don't want to go overboard and like have people just get tired of seeing Jewels of Hebrews, but if somebody puts it on and they say, hey, I just bought your book, then I share that.
Well, of
And I'm
course.
like, thank you for buying my book. And
Hmm.
so, but otherwise, you know, I made I made a little graphic just for, think what we're going, not Thanksgiving, we're going to Valentine's Day is coming up. So I made something for Valentine's Day, you know, just to get it out there. And I try to make just, you know, just something that will kind of put it out there, but not kind of overdoing it, you know, just enough to kind of keep it in people's minds and that kind of thing. So, but I enjoy teaching so much that it's like if somebody, you know, even like some of these churches I've gone to and said, hey, if you need me to pop in and say, thanks for buying my book and let me tell you a little bit about myself or about my book, I said, I'm totally willing to do that. And they're usually like, and of course they're local churches, but they're like, really good. We'll have you in. So, so, you know, I just love to teach. I just love
I,
that.
I, I think anybody that has gotten to know you has probably reached that
Yeah.
conclusion, and I frankly, at some point, I don't know. Does it seem like there's you get so immersed in it that do you ever feel
Hmm.
like you're missing out on something? Maybe there's something else. Have you ever been open to God to say, you know, God, do you want me to do anything else? Is there something different? You know, just for a change of venue, just
Yeah.
for something fresh. You
Yeah.
know, open a hot
Actually,
dog stand, or I don't
yeah.
know.
No, nothing like that. Because my husband, I don't know if you know this, but my husband was in the restaurant business all his life.
Uh-huh.
So I've been in the restaurant business, and
Hmm.
to tell you, it's not my forte. He was way better at it than I was. The only thing I was really good at was knowing the names of the customers and remembering their orders. And so when they would come in, I was like, "Oh, I'll put your order in right now," or whatever. And he didn't know any of his customers, and he let alone remember what they ordered from week to week. So he loved that I would remember that kind of thing. But that was the best thing I could do for him. But that was the only thing I could do for him because I was not good at the restaurant business. And but I have been that you bring that up. I actually sometimes I think you read my mind, you know, because you bring up things
Short
and
book.
I have been asking the Lord about getting involved in the pro life movement.
Okay.
Um, and how to do that and what that looks like for me. Um, there's a it's called what is it, Life Action or Action Life, which one is it, I forget, but that's terrible. But I have been following them on Facebook and stuff, and I love the stuff they put out, and their concern for the mother, not, you know, not just the baby, but their concern for
Right.
the mother. And um and it's been on my heart, and I've been asking the Lord, how is that your will for me, and then how do I do it, you know?
Yeah.
But so that is something I've thought about branching out into, because I feel like that's on God's heart.
Well, there's plenty of opportunities. I've served on the board of a crisis pregnancy center
Mm,
ministry, and it wasn't, it was a ministry.
right.
But, the thing that, as I kind of from a distance observes all the things you're doing, I wonder sometimes, when do you have time for yourself just to unwind, and or
Hmm.
or or can you even do that? Or are you like me?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't unplug it. You can only do
No,
that with the assistance of drugs.
no, I can totally unplug. I can totally
Really?
unplug. Yeah, I can. I have a few favorite shows, and usually about 8 o'clock at night, that's what my husband and I would do, although he sleeps. My husband is like just on all day. He is going, moving, doing
Mm-hmm.
something. So as soon as he sits down, he's out.
Yep.
But we'll pretend that we're watching TV together, and I don't let him have the remote, and I keep the remote, and I watch what my shows I want to watch.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I go to bed. I sleep well. It kills him because he's like, you like get horizontal and you're out. How do you even do that? And I go,
Yeah.
I don't know. I can just sleep when I need to sleep. So, but yeah, I unwind usually with a book or in front of a good program. So
So so so you just manage stress by just unplugging. You don't.
Yes.
What would you consider an adventurous thing to do at this point in your life?
Well, if it weren't for COVID, I would be in Ireland.
Yeah.
I would be there. We actually were planning a trip. I was planning a trip to Israel last year because there's this Bible historian in Jerusalem that I really love his teaching, and he's an Aussie, and but he went to Israel on vacation and never left, and I love listening to him. I love learning from him, and I actually had signed up last June to spend 2.5 weeks in Israel just learning and going to the places where Jesus taught and doing all those kinds of things. It was actually it wasn't a vacation. It was a total learning the Bible.
That's what I'm hearing. This is
Yeah.
not a vacation, and I have not had a day of vacation since March 31st of 2004.
Oh my.
But now that doesn't mean I haven't traveled, but when I
Right,
travel,
right.
it's like I went to a writers convention, a Christian writers convention.
Yes.
Well, I'm there to work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can, so I try to find ways to combine the two, so that I can make it tax deductible, among other things. But not
Right.
but I don't even know that I value unplugging. I don't even know I've done I've done it. I've been on cruises. I've been around the world. At some point, you know what I'd like to do is just go to the
What?
mountains, to a log cabin,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and wake up purely when my body wants to. And just go outside with a cup of coffee and some Copenhagen and sit on the porch and listen to the brook,
That
the
sounds
creek.
wonderful.
And now I would do that for an hour or two, but I want my internet so I can go back. Because when you get inspired, or if I literally a couple of weeks ago could not sleep, tossed and turned. And
Wow.
I had to get up and produce a video. I did not do a very good job of it. It was something new for me, but it was the only way I could get back to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a
Yeah.
curse, isn't it, of some kind? It's a defect. I don't.
It's funny because I was writing my blog at 11 o'clock last night, and my husband comes in, and he had just woken up and from our TV watching. And he comes in, he's like, "What are you doing up?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "It's 2:30 in the morning." I said, "No, it's 11 o'clock at night." And I said, "But I'm almost finished, so I'll go to bed." And but he was totally like, "Okay, I don't know what happened then. I lost a few hours
Lost
or
some
something."
time.
But it was just funny because he was sleeping soundly, and I guess he just thought he had slept way longer than he had. But we like to go with other people on vacation because we enjoy. I mean, there are things that we do together, but a lot of times we just enjoy going with people and going to places. And we went to the mountains. We actually had somebody recommend going to the I'm sorry. It's the up in Canada. So it's the Rocky Mountains up there. And it was like the most amazing trip to go up there. And we went in September and it snowed, but it was so fun. And it was just the best trip ever. And we went to like 4 or 5 different places, and we did the old couple kind of retired thing. We took a tour bus, but it was non-stressful because you know what? They took your luggage, they put it in front of your room. Then we went to our room, we just pulled our little luggage in. We got ready for bed, went to bed. Next morning, they told us, "Here's breakfast. Be down there by 7:30. Get down there, have your luggage out your door." They took our luggage, put it back in the thing. I mean, we just did whatever they told us to, went where, but then we'd have all these stops, and it was like a beautiful trip. But that's what I want to do. I'm going to go to Ireland, and my husband's Greek, so he wants to go to Greece, and so
You reckon?
we've been planning those kinds of trips. So when we can fly again.
Well, my wife and I took a bus tour of Europe.
Wow.
One of those 3-week bus tours, and that was quite an
Wow.
experience. And I would recommend
Really?
it. Well,
I'm sure it would, because where would you you know, it's
Well, it's
more
very
stress for
similar.
us.
A lot of it's taken care of for you, but anyway, we're out of time, and
Oh,
and when I
already?
have to really honor the time tonight, folks, I apologize about the banging. I'm having to use the microphone here for reasons you'll see in just a moment, but anyway, Stephanie, it's always. I hope that you will unplug and enjoy and
Hmm.
watch the duck butts and and let us know when you come back a month from now. Now, what's gonna be the topic then?
It'll be March.
Hmm.
Probably, hopefully, an ideas for a new book, and maybe in the
I,
process of
I
writing
I
a new book.
I just knew that was coming. I just knew it. I had no idea, but that's what I was kind of saying, the life cycle, and I was going to lead into. And at what point do you
Hmm.
start scratching the itch to write another?
Well, yeah, and I can't go into all that. So yeah, I
Yeah. Okay.
understand.
Okay. All right. Well, Stephanie, it's always a
Thank
joy having
you.
you, and it's so you have your leadership and your mentoring has meant so much to so many for so long, and just
Thank
keep
you.
doing that, and we admire that, and you're a great teacher, you're a great leader, you're a great mentor, you're just doing
Thank
the
you.
sister in Christ thing. Bless your heart, and we appreciate you sharing with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you
All
for having
right.
me on.
All right. Thank you, folks. Pavlantos. Now, I got to get out of here pretty quick because we got a lot going on. I've got to literally change studios, literally. Before I leave, two questions. First, what's the boldest thing you've ever done for Jesus Christ? On an adventure, follow Jesus. Next, how long ago was it? Folks, if it was a long time ago, you're not enjoying the adventure. You got to get bold to experience adventure. So I hope none of us will be satisfied with either